to begin? Are you kidding me? The Brutalist. Who asked for that? Top 10 this week is less than half 4 stars. Menu. There it is. Top 250 movies. When you look at this list, how many of these films have changed your life? First things first, I bet you that few of these, if any, have come out in the past decade. When was the last time you walked out of a movie theater and you thought something other than, yeah, that was alright, that was not bad, and then forgot about it the next day? One of the most despicable things, the most disgusting things with fucking cinema in the 2020s is fucking, look at Netflix fucking thumbnails. Remember when there used to be movie posters and it used to be a work of art, and now look at this shit. Somebody spent, there's a good picture, somebody spent fucking hours upon hours designing and making movie posters just for fucking people to be shown just a medium of some fucking actor's face. I know the title of this video suggests that, like, it's gonna be about how the future of cinema is bleak, or something along the lines of that, and that is true, but I'm gonna argue here that cinema was never all that good. And the idea that it was ever any good is kind of based on nostalgia and smoke and mirrors, I guess. If you're thinking, well, let's see you do better, yeah, finance my production. Loan me $10 million or so, and I'll get it done. I'll make the best film ever made. So number 1 on this list is Shawshank Redemption, best movie of all time. Now that surely belongs somewhere on this list. It's memorable, and all of the 2.5 hours of it is interesting the whole time, but is it meaningful? Can something under 3 hours even have anything meaningful about it? It's been like 8 years since I've watched these Godfather movies, so I don't think I can comment on them now. I should probably go watch them again. Okay, The Dark Knight. 3rd best movie of all time, really? I mean, who made this? Christopher Nolan? Fuck off. Get this off my screen. Who asked for these philosophical Batman movies? This is a very enjoyable movie, sure. The only good part of it, though, is the Joker sequences. Who actually watches this and finds the idea compelling, the theme of, like, he kills bad guys and that makes him a bad guy? Who finds that compelling? It's got problems too. If I remember it correctly, isn't there a character who's Italian who fucking has a Russian accent? He explodes a hospital and they say this city has 30 million people and 1 hospital. 12 Angry Men. I haven't seen this original. I've seen the remake with James Gandolfini, and that was good, and it's a good concept for a film, so I'm sure this is good. Lord of the Rings. What do I have to say about that? It may not be my kind of movie, but it is good. Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I like this. I'm very familiar with how, like, Tarantino has a few screws loose and shit, but fucking, I could turn this on and I'm sure I'd enjoy it. Every one of his films is pretty enjoyable, but they're not exactly formulaic, but they're all kind of about something to do with, like, revenge or justice for the main character type of thing. But you know what, they're all really quite stylish. He's got that all figured out anyway. Okay, Forrest Gump is number 11 on this list. It is a good, enjoyable movie. It's just all about a fool who has a very interesting and eventful life. And that's it, conceptually. That's all it is. It just goes to show that, really, everything in the world, every subject is just unbelievably thin and just predicated on fucking nonsense. And cinema is an especially good example of that. Maybe the way I talk is also an example of that. Even as someone who's doubting this whole medium altogether right now, I've placed in a couple screenwriting competitions, some relatively reputable ones, without the use of any mention of Judaism in the whole script, and no hero who gets his cock sucked by a 16-year-old. So even I could do it, a lowly foreign alien. Although maybe that would be the criteria to actually get it produced. Fight Club is good. This one's sort of the opposite of the theory I've been talking about, because it's kind of meaningful. It's about meaningful subject matter, but it's kind of a crazy and strange way of doing it. I think Fight Club would be compelling without the gimmick of the two characters being one guy. Imagine that, Fight Club with a sane guy. Inception is fucking dog shit. I hate this fucking movie. It's so profound. Yeah, I know Christopher Nolan is everybody's favorite these days. I'm not a fan of his, I gotta say. This movie is just... Interstellar might be the best one. This one is just a bunch of nonsense, impossible to follow. Sci-fi is maybe just not for me in general, but these movies are about fucking science fiction with profound fucking pseudo-intellectual themes. I'm not a fan of his work. He did say something, I read that he said something good about Nathan Fielder, which is something that me and him can agree upon. He's a great comedian. Star Wars. I'm gonna leave this out. There's nothing I could say about this that nobody has already said. Fucking, as we all know, the new ones suck. This might belong on this list, because those ones, of course, they might be the epitome of just visually appealing movies, so yeah, that's that. Goodfellas is wow, I'm surprised that it's fucking number 17. There's 16 people ahead of Scorsese on this list. Goodfellas is loved just for its style, but especially for the style of the first half hour of it. Then it gets kind of dry. I'm sure all of the most memorable parts of this are closer to the beginning than the end. And then it turns into being about the main guy, fucking Ray Liotta, has a coke addiction, and the feds are after him, but at that point, all the style of the movie was kind of just gone. It was just dragged out. This one is great. There's a few ways it could be better, but it's definitely very original and very interesting. 7 is a good movie. City of God is one of my favorites. It's kind of like a ghetto version of Goodfellas. I'd say it's similar in a way that it spans 3 decades, but it kind of has the same thing where the style kind of wanes throughout the movie, and the beginning is most stylish, but I think it retains my attention better, even though it's one of my all-time favorites alongside these other ones. I would say there's no film that I actually love. I'd say I really like them. They definitely didn't change my life. The Green Mile, that one was fucking... I don't know what to make of it. Life is Beautiful is another Holocaust movie. It's been a long time since I watched it, but it might be better than Schindler's List if I remember correctly. Terminator 2, a feat of special effects and CGI. Back to the Future, kind of another thing where they're more selling you a style than like meaningful kind of subject matter. Parasite is good. I think it might belong higher up on this list. Oh yeah, of course, who could forget Leon the Professional? This movie is for pedos. This movie's fucking disgusting. I can't believe people like it so much. There's also other things about it that are just retarded as well. Like fucking this hitman is shown doing sit-ups all the time. Because I guess the writer was also a professional assassin, and he knows that fucking doing sit-ups is gonna have carryover to your job as an assassin. And the fucking villain dances all the time. That's the most fucking retarded trope. I don't know if this is the movie that came up with that trope, but fucking that's the most retarded shit. Who thought it was a good idea? Who sees the sequences where a villain likes listening to music and dancing and thinks that's so fucking incredibly cool and stylish? It's not. It's fucking retarded. But yeah, anyways, every one of these fucking people, everyone associated with this film should not be allowed within 500 yards of a school. None of these people who gave it good ratings, and the person who compiled this list too. I like The Usual Suspects. That's a good one. I have not watched Dune. Raiders of the Lost Ark definitely belongs on this list. This one's really cool. I haven't seen the newer one, but this might be the like fucking coolest animation. Okay, The Dark Knight Rises. Okay, maybe the other one, the one I talked about before might belong somewhere on this list. Sure, the fucking Joker one. This one fucking doesn't. This one doesn't at all. This is the one with the guy with the mask. And what were his motives again? He destroys the bridges. If I remember right, his motives don't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't get it. If anyone knows what his motives are, then just let me know. Heat is fucking awful. I don't remember anything about this. I just remember hating it. Crime movies cannot be lacking in charm and comic relief. It's probably only made this list because it's star-studded, because it's got Al Pacino and De Niro. This is a lousy movie. I haven't seen this. I've not watched Oppenheimer, and I have no interest in watching it. Why would you want to watch this? Do you really have to watch a... People only went and watched this just because of the names attached to it. Is the idea, the concept of him being so full of regret for designing a bomb, but also thinking like if he didn't do it, someone else would have done it, is that really compelling enough to spend 3 hours watching a movie about it? Do you think there's anybody who went and watched this and then we're still thinking about it 2 or 3 days later? Surely the effect of thinking that yeah, I enjoyed that movie I watched would only last a day or two. Yeah, maybe it's just been a while since I've seen anything worth a damn, and maybe one of these days I'll come across something that inspires me or whatever. If you really start thinking in depth about cinema, it's all just a bunch of nonsense, and a 2-hour plot where the hero looks good and defeats evil may not be what's in store for the future. Television just raises the bar on so many levels, and I guess that happened I guess that would have happened decades ago, but that's what's gonna catch on, and then I guess movies and YouTube type shit is gonna be integrated